Welcome to my channel. Kindly watch and make a comment, share, and subscribe. It will help in growing the channel. Enjoy this story. Tumaini and family. The sun rose gently over the hills of Nyaroko, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. Roosters crowed, goats bleated, and smoke curled from the kitchens of homesteads as women prepared morning meals. In the midst of this village life stood the sprawling compound of Mr. Tumaini, a man whose name carried weight, respect, and whispers of envy. Tumaini had retired from his government job 4 years earlier. Unlike many who faded into obscurity after retirement, he had flourished. His farm stretched across 20 acres, rows of coffee trees swaying in the morning breeze, their green leaves glistening with dew. Beyond the coffee, cattle grazed lazily, goats skipped along the fences, ducks waddled near the pond, pigs snorted in their pens, and chickens scratched the earth for grain. Even a fish pond shimmered in the corner of the estate, stocked with tilapia that his daughters loved to feed. His household was large and lively. Tumaini had 3 wives, Mercy, Joy, and Elizabeth, each with 5 daughters, making 15 in total. The compound was alive with the chatter of girls, laughter echoing as they fetched water, tended to chores, or sang songs while grinding maize. Yet beneath this joy lay Tumaini's silent burden. He had no son. In a culture where sons were often seen as heirs, this absence was a shadow that his brothers never let him forget. Mercy, the eldest wife, carried herself with dignity. She often reminded the family, "Our daughters are blessings, they will carry our name with pride." Joy, outspoken and fiery, would snap back at anyone who dared belittle them. "A son does not plow the land better than a daughter. Let them talk, we know our worth." Elizabeth, quiet and thoughtful, worried constantly about the future. She whispered to Tumaini at night, "What if your brothers try to take everything when you are gone?" Tumaini's 6 sisters lived far away, happily married into prosperous families. They visited occasionally, bringing gifts and laughter, but their distance meant they were spared the daily drama of the village. His 6 brothers, however, were another story. Unlike Tumaini, they had squandered their youth. School dropouts, lazy and perpetually broke, they spent their days at the local bar, drinking local beer called mnazi. The bar was a dim shack with wooden benches, sticky floors, and the pungent smell of fermented coconut brew. From morning till night the brothers sat there, cups in hand, drowning their failures in cheap drink. Between sips, they plotted against Tumaini. "Look at him," one brother sneered, slamming his cup on the table. "Coffee farm, cattle, daughters singing like birds. He thinks he's a king." Another leaned forward, eyes bloodshot from mnazi. "Without a son, his wealth is wasted. Those girls will marry and leave. The land should be ours." Their voices grew louder, bitter laughter filling the bar. "We made him marry 3 wives, promising a son. Still nothing. Now we'll find a way to take it all." The bar became their council of envy, their drunken parliament. While Tumaini's compound thrived with discipline and order, mnazi echoed with resentment and schemes. Meanwhile, Tumaini remained generous. He often gave his brothers food, allowed them to take produce from his farm, and even lent them money. But instead of gratitude, they repaid him with gossip and betrayal. Villagers whispered about the brothers' jealousy, shaking their heads at how they wasted their lives. "He gave them everything," one elder murmured, "yet they repay him with envy. A man's own blood can be his greatest enemy." Tumaini himself felt the sting. Walking through his coffee rows one morning, he thought aloud, "I have been good to them. I shared my wealth, my harvest, my kindness. Yet all they do is backstab me, disturb my wives, and mock my daughters. Is this the reward of brotherhood?" His daughters, overhearing, rushed to his side. "Baba, don't be sad," said little Achieng, clutching his hand. "We will take care of you." Mercy's eldest daughter added firmly, "We are your heirs. We will protect this farm." Their voices lifted his spirit, reminding him that his legacy was not measured by sons alone. Still, the tension simmered. The brothers, drunken, plotting over mnazi, grew bolder, and Tumaini's household felt the weight of their envy. The stage was set for confrontation. a clash between discipline and disorder, between a man who built and brothers who squandered. The brothers of Tumaini were men whose lives had unraveled like old ropes. Each morning, instead of tending to their small plots of land, they wandered toward the crooked shack at the edge of the village, the Mnazi bar. The place smelled of sour coconut brew, sweat, and smoke. Wooden benches creaked under their weight and flies buzzed lazily around spilled drink. Here they drowned their failures in endless cups of Mnazi. Their laughter was hollow, their songs slurred, and their conversations poisoned with envy. "Look at Tumaini," muttered the eldest brother, his voice thick with drink. "He walks with pride, his farm shining like gold, and us, forgotten, mocked poor." Another slammed his cup down, spilling froth onto the table. "He has no son. What use is all that wealth? 15 daughters who will marry and leave. That land should belong to us." The youngest, barely able to sit straight, sneered. "We told him to marry 3 wives, promised him sons, still nothing. He wasted his life. Now we'll take what is ours." Their plotting grew louder, spilling into the night. Villagers passing by shook their heads. "These men," whispered one woman, "they drink away their days, yet dream of stealing their brother's sweat." An elder sighed, "A drunkard's envy is sharper than a sober man's spear." Meanwhile, Tumaini's household felt the sting of their jealousy. Workers reported that the brothers had begun harassing them at the market, demanding free produce. Daughters whispered that uncles mocked them, calling them empty baskets because they were girls. Inside the homestead, the wives argued. Mercy, strong and protective, declared, "Your brothers are vultures circling our home. They will not succeed." Joy, fiery and quick-tempered, snapped, "If Tumaini had listened to me, we would have cut ties long ago. Now they disturb our peace daily." Elizabeth, quiet but anxious, wrung her hands. "What if they convince the chief? What if they take everything when Tumaini is gone?" The daughters, overhearing, huddled together. "Why do our uncles hate us?" asked little Achieng, tears in her eyes. The eldest daughter, bold and defiant, answered, "Because they see our strength. We will inherit this land whether they like it or not." At the Mnazi joint, the brothers' bitterness boiled over. One night, drunk and reckless, they shouted, "We will report him to the chief. Let the elders decide. Tumaini cannot lock us out forever." Their voices carried through the village, echoing like a storm brewing on the horizon. The stage was set for confrontation, a clash not only of property, but of pride, tradition, and the meaning of family. Life inside Tumaini's homestead was never quiet. With 3 wives and 15 daughters, the compound was a hive of activity, laughter, chores, songs, and sometimes sharp words. Yet beneath the rhythm of daily life, tension brewed. Mercy, the eldest wife, carried herself like a matriarch. She was respected by the daughters, often seen instructing them as they pounded maize or milked the cows. Her voice was calm but firm. "Girls, remember, this farm is your inheritance. Work hard, respect your father, and never let anyone tell you that you are less because you are daughters." Joy, the second wife, was fiery and outspoken. She often clashed with Mercy, accusing her of being too soft. One evening, as the wives sat by the fire preparing supper, Joy snapped, "Mercy, you speak of inheritance, but you forget the brothers. They will not rest until they take everything. You think your calm words will stop them. No, we must fight them with fire." Elizabeth, the youngest wife, sat quietly stirring the pot of stew. Her eyes darted nervously between the 2 women. "I fear Joy is right," she whispered. "The brothers are dangerous. They mock our daughters, they disturb our peace. What if they convince the chief to side with them?" The daughters, listening from the shadows, exchanged worried glances. The eldest, Achieng, stepped forward boldly. "Mama Joy, Mama Mercy, Mama Elizabeth, do not fear. We are strong. We will stand with Baba. This farm belongs to us." But the wives' rivalry did not end there. Mercy accused Joy of stirring unnecessary conflict. Joy accused Mercy of pretending to be the favorite. Elizabeth, caught in the middle, often cried silently at night, fearing the family would break apart. One afternoon, the tension exploded. Joy confronted Mercy in the courtyard, her voice rising above the clucking chickens. "You think you are the queen here, Mercy, always speaking as if Tumaini listens only to you. But remember, you too failed him, no son, only daughters." Mercy's face hardened. "Do not insult my daughters, Joy, they are blessings. Sons are not the only heirs. It is your bitterness that blinds you." Elizabeth rushed between them, pleading, "Please stop. The children are watching. Do not tear each other apart." The daughters huddled together, tears in their eyes. The youngest whispered, "Why do our mothers fight? Are we not enough?" Tumaini, hearing the commotion, stepped out from his study. His voice thundered across the compound. "Enough! Mercy, Joy, Elizabeth, you are my wives, the mothers of my children. Do not let envy divide you. My daughters are my pride. They will inherit this land. No brother, no outsider will take it from us." The wives fell silent, shame washing over them. Mercy lowered her head, Joy crossed her arms defiantly, and Elizabeth wiped her tears. That night, as the moon rose over Nyaroko, the wives sat together in uneasy silence. Mercy finally spoke. "We must unite. If we fight among ourselves, the brothers will win." Joy sighed, her anger cooling. "Perhaps you are right. Our daughters deserve peace." Elizabeth nodded, relief softening her face. "Let us stand together for Tumaini, for the girls." From that moment, though rivalry lingered, the wives began to see that their strength lay in unity. The brothers' envy was strong, but the bond of family could be stronger if they chose it. It was market day in Nyaroko. The dusty road leading to the shopping center was alive with chatter, women balancing baskets of vegetables on their heads, traders shouting prices, children chasing each other between stalls. The smell of roasted maize and fried fish mingled with the scent of fresh coffee beans. Tumaini walked steadily, his cane tapping the ground, his mind heavy with the quarrels at home. He had come to buy salt, sugar, and soap for the household, but his heart carried more than a shopping list. As he turned a corner, a familiar voice called out, "Tumaini, my old friend." It was John, his childhood companion. They embraced warmly, laughter breaking through years of distance. John's eyes sparkled with sincerity, but his tone soon grew serious. "My dear friend," John began, lowering his voice, "I hear troubling things. Your brothers, they spend their days at Mnazi, drinking, plotting. They speak of your land as if it were theirs." Tumaini sighed deeply. "I have given them food, money, even produce from my farm, yet they repay me with gossip and envy. What more can a man do?" John placed a hand on his shoulder. "You must stand your ground, stop listening to them. They forced you into marrying 3 wives, promising you a son. Still, they mock you. But listen, gone are the days when only boys mattered. Daughters are blessings too. Protect them, protect your wives. Do not let your brothers steal your peace." Tumaini's eyes clouded with thought. "But they are my blood, John. How can I turn against my own brothers?" John's voice sharpened. "Blood does not excuse betrayal. A brother who envies you is more dangerous than a stranger. Look at me, I have 3 wives too, but we live in peace. My daughters are my pride. Do not let outdated customs blind you. Your daughters will carry your legacy." The words struck Tumaini like a drumbeat. He remembered the laughter of his girls, their songs echoing across the compound, their hands busy with chores, their eyes bright with hope. He thought of Mercy's wisdom, Joy's fire, Elizabeth's quiet strength. He thought of the brothers at Mnazi, cups in hand, plotting his downfall. As they walked together through the market, John continued, "The village watches you, Tumaini. They see your generosity, your discipline. Do not let drunken men at Mnazi define your future. Lock your gate. Guard your farm. Teach your daughters that they are worthy heirs." Tumaini stopped, staring at the horizon where his coffee farm stretched beyond the hills. His voice trembled, yet carried resolve. "John, you speak truth. I have been blind, hoping my brothers would change. But envy has eaten their hearts. From today I will protect my family. No brother, no nephew, no sister-in-law shall step foot on my land." John smiled, relief washing over his face. "That is the Tumaini I know. Stand firm, my friend. The chief and elders will see your wisdom. The village will support you." They parted with a firm handshake, the bond of childhood friendship rekindled. Tumaini carried his shopping bag, but more importantly, he carried a new determination. On the walk home, his thoughts echoed like a chant. "My daughters are my heirs. My wives are my strength. My brothers are my burden no more." The road seemed brighter, the air lighter. For the first time in years, Tumaini felt the weight of betrayal lifting, replaced by the fire of resolve. That evening, the compound of Tumaini was quiet, save for the crackle of the cooking fire and the distant hum of crickets. The wives sat in uneasy silence, the daughters huddled together, sensing the tension that hung in the air. Tumaini returned from the market, his bag of household items in one hand, but his heart carried something heavier, the words of his friend John. He placed the bag down, looked at his family, and spoke with a voice that carried both sorrow and resolve. "My wives, my daughters, today I have seen the truth. My brothers, the men I trusted, have become enemies of this household. They drink at Mnazi, they plot against us, they mock our daughters, and they disturb our peace. I have given them food, money, kindness, yet they repay me with envy and betrayal." Mercy, ever dignified, nodded slowly. "We have seen it too many. They come here demanding produce, speaking ill of us. Their hearts are poisoned." Joy, fiery as always, leaned forward. "Then act, husband. Enough of patience. Lock them out. Protect us. Show them that this farm belongs to your daughters, not to drunkards at Mnazi." Elizabeth, timid but trembling with fear, whispered, "But if you shut them out, will they not run to the chief? Will they not stir the elders against us?" Tumaini raised his hand, silencing the murmurs. His eyes burned with determination. "Let them run to the chief. Let them shout before the elders. I will not bow to envy. From today, no brother, no nephew, no sister-in-law shall step foot on this land. This farm is for my daughters, my wives, and my future." The daughters gasped, then broke into whispers of joy. The eldest, Achieng, stepped forward boldly. "Baba, we will guard this farm with you. We are your heirs. We will not let them take what you have built." Tumaini smiled faintly, pride swelling in his chest. "Yes, my child, you are my legacy. You and your sisters will inherit this land. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise." That night Tumaini summoned his workers. By the light of the moon, he gave strict instructions. "The gate shall be locked at all times. A watchman will guard it day and night. No brother of mine, no member of their families shall enter this compound. If they come, turn them away. This is my command." The workers bowed, understanding the gravity of his words. The wives exchanged glances, Mercy with approval, Joy with satisfaction, Elizabeth with lingering worry. The next morning the gate was locked. A tall watchman stood guard, spear in hand, eyes sharp. The brothers arrived, drunk from Mnazi, demanding entry. "Open the gate," they shouted. "We are family, this land is ours too." The watchman stood firm. "By Tumaini's order, none of you shall enter." The brothers cursed, spat on the ground, and stormed away. Their humiliation burned like fire. Inside the compound, Tumaini watched from the veranda, his daughters gathered around him. He whispered to himself, "I have been good to them, but kindness has its limits. A man must protect his household. Today, I choose peace for my family over chaos from my brothers." The wives stood behind him, united at last. Mercy placed a hand on his shoulder. "You have done what is right." Joy smiled fiercely. "Now they will know we are not weak." Elizabeth, though still anxious, nodded slowly. "Perhaps now we can live in peace." But outside the compound, the brothers' anger grew. Denied entry, mocked by villagers, they plotted their next move. "We will report him to the chief," one snarled. "Let the elders decide. He cannot shut us out forever." The stage was set for the next confrontation, a clash not only of family, but of tradition, authority, and justice. The brothers, humiliated at the locked gate, stormed through the village in fury. Their drunken voices echoed. Tumaini has betrayed us. He thinks he is greater than his own blood. We will take him before the chief. Word spread quickly. By dawn, the chief had summoned Tumaini to appear before the council of elders. The village gathered at the meeting ground, a wide circle beneath the ancient fig tree, where justice was spoken and tradition upheld. The air was tense. Women whispered, children clung to their mothers, and men stood in clusters, waiting to hear the verdict. At the center sat the chief, stern and dignified, flanked by elders draped in traditional robes. Their walking sticks tapped the earth rhythmically, a reminder of authority. The brothers arrived first, staggering slightly from Mnazi, but loud and defiant. "Chief," the eldest shouted, "we come with grievance. Our brother Tumaini has locked us out of his farm. He denies us entry, denies us our rights as family. He has no son, his wealth should be ours." The crowd murmured. Some nodded in agreement, others shook their heads in disgust. The chief raised his hand. "Silence, let Tumaini speak." Tumaini stepped forward, his wives behind him, his daughters gathered in a protective circle. His sisters had traveled from afar, ululating in solidarity, their voices piercing the air like spears of support. His childhood friend John stood nearby, arms crossed, ready to defend him. Tumaini's voice was steady, but carried the weight of years. "Chief, elders, people of Nyaroko, I have given my brothers food, money, and kindness. I opened my farm to them, allowed them to take produce freely. Yet they repaid me with envy, gossip, and betrayal. They disturb my wives, mock my daughters, and plot against me at Mnazi. I will not allow it any longer. My daughters are my heirs. My wives are my strength. This farm is theirs, not for drunkards who squander their lives." The crowd erupted in murmurs. One elder leaned forward, stroking his beard. "But Tumaini, you have no son. Tradition says a man's wealth passes through his sons." Another elder shook his head. "Times are changing. Daughters are blessings too. They can inherit, they can lead." The chief's eyes narrowed. "Tumaini, why lock your gate? Why place a watchman against your own blood?" Tumaini lifted his chin. "Because blood that envies is poison. I will not let envy destroy my household. My gate is locked to protect peace. My farm is guarded to protect my daughters. I choose family harmony over drunken chaos." The brothers shouted in protest. "He insults us, he calls us drunkards, he denies tradition." John stepped forward, his voice cutting through the noise. "Chief, elders, I have known Tumaini since childhood. His brothers forced him into marrying 3 wives, promising him sons. Still, they mock him. They drink at Mnazi, plotting against him. Is this brotherhood or betrayal?" The sisters ululated again, their voices rising like a chorus of defiance. One sister spoke boldly. "We are his blood too. We stand with him. His daughters are our nieces, our pride. Let no one shame them." The chief raised his staff, demanding silence. "Let the elders decide." One elder spoke in proverbs. "A tree is known by its fruit. Tumaini's fruit is his daughters. They are strong, they are many. Why should they be cast aside?" Another added, "He who repays good with evil, evil shall not depart from his house. Tumaini gave his brothers kindness. They repaid him with envy. Let them bear the weight of their choices." The council debated long into the afternoon. The sun dipped lower, shadows stretching across the meeting ground. Villagers listened intently, every word heavy with meaning. Finally the chief stood, his voice firm and final. "Tumaini has spoken with wisdom. His farm is his daughters are his heirs, his wives shall live in peace. Let no brother disturb this household again. The gate shall remain locked. The watchman shall remain. The council supports Tumaini." The crowd erupted in cheers. Women clapped, children danced, and the sisters sang songs of victory. The brothers, humiliated, stumbled away, their plots exposed, their envy laid bare before the village. Tumaini turned to his family, his voice soft but resolute. We have faced betrayal, but today we have one peace. My daughters, my wives, you are my legacy. Stand tall, for the village now knows your worth. His daughters embraced him, tears of joy streaming down their faces. Mercy smiled with pride, Joy laughed fiercely, Elizabeth sighed in relief. John clasped his hand, and the sisters ululated once more, sealing the moment in memory. The council fire burned low, but its light carried a message across Nyaroko. Envy had been defeated, and daughters had been declared heirs. The council's ruling echoed across Nyaroko like thunder. Tumaini's words had been upheld, his daughters declared rightful heirs, his farm protected. The villagers dispersed slowly, still murmuring about what they had witnessed. The brothers, faces dark with shame, stumbled back toward to drinking Mnazi. Their voices, once loud and defiant, were now hushed. One muttered bitterly, "We have lost. The chief has sided with him." Another spat on the ground. "His daughters will inherit and we will be forgotten." At the Mnazi bar that had been their fortress of envy, they sat in silence. Cups of coconut brew remained untouched. Even the drunken songs that usually filled the shack were absent. Villagers passing by laughed quietly, mocking them. "Look at Tumaini's brothers," one man whispered, "defeated by their own greed." Meanwhile, Tumaini's compound was alive with celebration. His daughters danced in the courtyard, their voices rising in song. "We are our father's pride. We are the fruit of his labor. No envy shall take us away." The wives, though weary from weeks of tension, felt a new sense of unity. Mercy, her dignity intact, smiled warmly. "Today our daughters have been honored. Let us never doubt them again." Joy, fiery but softened by victory, laughed. "I fought with you, Mercy, but now I see together we are stronger." Elizabeth, tears of relief streaming down her face, whispered, "At last peace has returned to this home." Tumaini stood at the veranda watching his family. His heart swelled with pride. "My daughters, my wives, you are my legacy. Today the village has seen your worth. Stand tall, for envy has been defeated." His sisters, who had traveled from afar, ululated once more, their voices piercing the evening air. They embraced their nieces, blessing them with words of encouragement. "You are strong," one sister said. "Carry this farm with pride. Let no one shame you for being daughters." John, his childhood friend, clasped his hand firmly. "You stood your ground, Tumaini. You have shown wisdom. Your brothers may drink at Mnazi, but you have built a legacy that will last." As night fell, the compound glowed with firelight. The daughters prepared food, laughter echoing as they roasted goat and shared stories. The wives sat together, no longer rivals but united mothers. Tumaini walked among them, his cane tapping the earth, his voice calm and steady. "Let this day be remembered," he said, "not for the envy of my brothers but for the strength of my daughters. The chief and elders have spoken. This farm is ours. This peace is ours." The villagers, hearing the songs from Tumaini's compound, nodded in respect. "He has defended his household," they said. "He has shown that daughters are blessings too." And so, the story of Tumaini became more than a family drama. It became a lesson for the village, a reminder that envy destroys but unity builds, that daughters, often overlooked, could carry a legacy with pride. The brothers remained at Mnazi, their laughter gone, their cups empty. The villagers avoided them, whispering, "He who repays good with evil, evil shall not depart from his house." But in Tumaini's compound, joy reigned. His daughters danced beneath the stars, his wives reconciled, his sisters blessed, his friends stood by his side. Tumaini himself, though weary, felt peace for the first time in years. The drums of Nyaroko beat softly that night, carrying a message across the hills. Envy had been silenced, and daughters had risen as heirs. The sun had fully risen, spilling light across Nyaroko. Tumaini's compound was alive with laughter, work, and song. His daughters carried baskets of harvest, his wives tended the gardens, and his brothers, humbled, dug into the soil with quiet determination. At the fig tree, the chief gathered the young men of the village. He raised his hand and spoke. Remember Tumaini. He fed his family with discipline, not indulgence. He locked his gate against envy, and the fire judged the truth. Let his story guide you, for peace is not given, it is built. The elders nodded, their voices joining in. The fire judges, the dawn forgives. Tumaini, standing at the edge of his compound, heard their words carried in the wind. He smiled faintly, his staff tapping against the earth. Mercy came to his side, whispering, "Your name will live in this land." Thank you for watching.